Bitcoin has exceeded expectations in 2023 by surging 86% since the beginning of the year, attracting institutional money and raising questions about how long this next rally may last. So ladies and gents, in today's video, we're going to be going over the popular question on everyone's mind, and that's whether or not the crypto bull market is here or if it's yet to come soon. To do this, we're going to go over some statistics about historical data that we've seen with Bitcoin using different price surges with times like this. On top of that, we're also going to be going over some additional traders and experts within the industry who have varying opinions about this current bull run, or if it even is a bull run, and talk about whether or not there's a potential for liquidity issues and other things that may be impacting the current development of Bitcoin. Now, just a quick recap. If you guys remember the topic of discussion from last week's market update, we discussed the possibility of the next Bitcoin ETF and how this could trigger another bull run. Well, since then, we got some additional positive news because BlackRock CEO turns out is even more bullish on the whole stance of Bitcoin. This is because he described Bitcoin as an international asset and emphasized its importance and potential as a digitalized form of gold. This is a common analogy that we've used here on this channel to explain just pretty much what Bitcoin is in layman terms, but Fink here believes that a Bitcoin ETF could democratize finance, and it could also provide investors with an alternative asset class and a hedge against inflation, which is another theory that we used to push a lot further back then until we found out during this recession that it hasn't really gone that way at all. Now, it seems a little coincidental because Larry Fink's pro-Bitcoin comments came at a time where BlackRock has just reapplied for a spot Bitcoin ETF that is currently under reviews. So the question also is, will 2023 be the year of the Bitcoin ETF? Well, CoinDesk went ahead and had a pretty good write-up on it. So to summarize this article here, one of the key factors for the SEC's approval of a Bitcoin ETF is the presence of surveillance sharing agreements. These agreements here aim to deter potential market manipulation and ensure the integrity of the ETF's underlying assets. So Coinbase has been mentioned as a potential partner for several ETF applications, and that's because it operates as a regulated Bitcoin market, and it also has significant enough trading volume for it to process a lot of the orders. The article here also highlights that the SEC's stance on the necessity of a regulated market for Bitcoin has evolved, whereas in the past, the SEC stated that spot Bitcoin markets were not currently regulated. However, some filings right now argue that Bitcoin's futures markets should be sufficient enough for the SEC's requirements. Only time will tell in a matter like this, but I am feeling a little bit bullish just because we have a lot of different companies, banks, large institutions coming into the scene, applying for the ETF with a pretty good track record. Next, Binance CEO CZ also shared his forecast for the next Bitcoin bull run during a Twitter Space session that happened earlier this week. CZ explained that the price of Bitcoin has historically moved in 4-year bull cycles, and his best bet was that this would continue to occur. CZ also emphasized that the upcoming Bitcoin halving event, which is actually supposed to take place in 2024, would be declared to start the next bull market going into 2025. He stated, quote, "The year after Bitcoin halving is usually the bull run," end quote. Now, it's not just him who is the owner of one of the biggest exchanges still that is bullish on the entire space, but crypto services provider Matrixport predicts that Bitcoin is also going to rally to as high as $125,000 per coin by the end of 2024. Now, their forecast is based on historical data that we're going to go over here, showing that Bitcoin tends to enter these multi-month bull markets after confirming the end of a bear market and setting a new 12-month high. I find this part really interesting because I love data and I love being able to look at what's happened in the past to make a more educated decision on what may happen in the near future. So what we can conclude is this: the signal indicating the end of the bear market was triggered when Bitcoin surpassed the $31,000 mark, which would be the highest level since June of 2022, about a year ago from today. Now, the head of research and strategy over at Matrixport quoted this: "This signal has historically indicated the end of bear markets and the start of a new crypto bull market." So if you take a look at your screen, the dates on the left side of the table show the previous signals for when Bitcoin made a new yearly high, indicating the end of the bear market. The following columns, we have 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 12 months, and it shows how Bitcoin performed in the months after that signal was triggered. By the way, this is the signal that the end of the bear market hit. Now, historically speaking, if we use this data, 3 months after the signal was initially triggered, Bitcoin began its multi-month bull market many times. If history is any guide, Bitcoin's price action for this upcoming bull market could climb up to 123% in gains over 12 months, or even 310% since the day of today over 18 months. This here is based on the average return of the signals triggered in 2015, 2019, and 2020, and that would lift prices to $65,000 per Bitcoin in 12 months, or $125,000 per Bitcoin over 18 months from today. At the time of filming this video, Bitcoin is still sitting at around the $30,000 price level, but it made a 1-year high of $31,500 early Thursday morning. Now, the last time this price was reached, like I mentioned earlier, was back of last year, and currently on the short-term charts, the relative strength index, otherwise known as the RSI, is still a bit higher, and it suggests that Bitcoin could consolidate over the next few days and have a bit of a minor dip. Regardless, I like to look at it in the progress of what's been happening over the last 365 days, and the answer is clear. Bitcoin has been doing well. If you guys remember the bottom of the market at around $16,000, if y'all were confident and you kept buying in and realized that this is just a temporary time in the market, you would be up almost double on your investment. So what do I think is going to happen in the market next? And should you be selling off all your assets to go all in on crypto? Well, yes. No, I'm just kidding. You should be doing your own financial research, and you should be investing in a manner where you're still able to tolerate any market volatility. Also, keep in mind, just simply put, with the direction, the way the markets are going, if it's a healthy economy, it's going to be a healthy stock market, and we're going to be seeing a healthy rebound within crypto. But if we're in a bad economy, we're going to see more red in the market. It's as simple as that. The question then is, how's the market doing? How's the economy doing? How is the recession seeming? Well, we did get some good news. The US labor market actually showed a bit more strength and resilience as ADP, one of the largest employment payroll services, made a report that revealed a surge of 497,000 new private sector jobs for the month of June, and has surpassed expectations and outperformed the previous month's gains. Clearly, right now we're seeing a stronger job growth in the US labor market, and this year suggests a minor market recovery and economic expansion, and we've actually seen that getting reflected in July, where it was reported to be one of the best months in stock market history. Sorry, I said July, I mean June. With that being said though, the ADP employment data is not the most reliable source often. I want to wait and see what we get from the official jobs report from the Department of Labor and Statistics, which is set to be released tomorrow morning, and this report usually has a bigger influence on the investor decision-making process compared to the ADP unemployment report. Depending on when you've seen this video, that report with the Department of Labor is probably out by now, so you can get a chance to look at it yourself. Now, for me personally, I already have large amounts of bag invested into the crypto market, especially from what's been left over from the last bull market. So what I've been doing is actually just taking things a lot slower. I'm still waiting to see if we're going to get that market pullback, because just like we predicted, this summer was going to be hot. Literally, temperature-wise, it's hot outside, guys. I'm like, I gotta wake up at like 6 a.m. to walk my dog now because it gets mad hot during the day. But the markets have been hot too. Like, stocks have been performing in a crazy way. And over the past month or so within crypto, we've been seeing some pretty solid movement. If we don't get a cool down period happening at the end of summer, I'm gonna be surprised. But you never know, because if the US economy just continues to shape up and we're seeing economic growth happening on a much faster rate than we expected, then I think the markets are gonna continue to perform well, and that could have been the bottom. It could have just flown past us right there. So if you guys did enjoy today's market update, do me a huge favor, drop a like down below. It surprisingly helps out this channel a lot. And be sure to check out the links down below in the description, where you can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram. I guess the new thing is Threads. Follow me there if you guys want to as well. By the way, we also have an exclusive community over on Patreon where you get access to our Discord group. You can get buy and sell alerts, and also Monday, Wednesday, Friday market reports from some of our best advisors. If you want to check that out, we recently sold out spots again on Wednesday, and we're going to be opening up new spots later this week. But if you happen to miss those, be sure to join our waiting list on the email link down below in the description. One last thing, be sure to check out this cool offer from Coinbase. You get $200, or you can get up to $200 by using my link down below in the description with Coinbase. And on top of that, if you guys want to check out Moomoo and Webull, you can get up to 20 or maybe even 30 free stocks in total, which is still absolutely absurd. I would act on that offer before they reduce the amount of stocks because it is a good deal. I got about $70 worth of free value. It's still in there. I still held it, but I could cash it out at any point, and it's actually gone up even more since then. Webull and Moomoo are registered and insured through the FDIC, so you can get protection as well. And it's an app that I've been using for quite a while. So thank you all so much again for watching today's video. Check out the links down below in the description, and I'll see y'all next week. Peace.